5.56 Golf was built on the values of patriotism, hard work, and dedication from a veteran's perspective. But this brand isn't just for veterans. It's for every American and golfer who shares the same core values of resilience and commitment. Whether you're hitting the links or reflecting on what it means to serve, 5.56 Golf stands as a tribute to both our nation's military and the enduring spirit of the game. Let your inner red, white, and blue show.
Everybody back at the Mummers Museum after a nice parade. We took a little time off, but we're back and ready to work. A little bit of a different location tonight. They're having a meeting downstairs. So you know what? We missed being in costume so much. We decided we were going to sit among the suits, and we didn't get the winner circle in the shot tonight. Sorry, Bill. We had the
You've had enough.
It all set up.
I got enough pictures of it.
Yeah, I got enough pictures of it that you sent to us numerous times throughout the course of the last couple of weeks.
Make you feel better.
Yeah.
Brighten your day.
Thank you. It really did. I love getting that when I'm sitting at work. A nice picture of Billy sitting with the trophy in the winner's circle. But we got a nice episode for you tonight. We got Tommy Otto's down tonight. He's going to join us for a little bit, and we're going to talk about wrapping up the parade, the 2025 parade, all divisions included. But before we get into that, a couple announcements. So we're in that time of year where clubs start having events, different things are going on. If you have an event coming up, you have a graphic for it, dates, locations, whatever, put it on Mum Nation. Billy will approve it so everybody knows it's going on, and all that kind of good stuff. One specific that we have coming up, Haley?
Yeah, speaking of, we have a bingo event supporting the Morgan Rose Foundation, and that is Friday, February 21st, 7 p.m. here at the Mummers Museum. Their coverall is $1,000 to win, so come check it out, support a good cause, a cause that we hold dear to our podcast here. And we also have other important dates just to mention as well, just actual mum related. Theme submissions. So the string band theme submission due date is February 2nd, and the Fancy Brigades is March 1st. So stay tuned on Mum Nation to see what themes make it for the 2026 parade.
And I know the string band one is at Polish American String Bands Club.
Yes.
Do we know where the brigade one is? Is that at the Mummers Museum?
I think usually it's...
Usually it is here,
It
but
wasn't
last year
there
it was
last year.
somewhere else. Yeah,
I think it was the Jokers last year.
Okay, yeah,
I'll
it
find
might
out.
rotate around, but we'll find out. But I know the string band one is definitely at Polish American because you sent that to me earlier. And then it's never too late to join the Mummers Museum, of course. So absolutely become a member. We all did, so it helps them out. Any little bit of financial help that you can give to the Mummers Museum is a big deal. And going along with our episode tonight, with wrapping up the 2025 parade, we have a new poll question for you, Haley.
So brought to you by Jewelry by Joseph, the official jeweler of Mum Nation. This poll for this episode is, what division were you most impressed by this year, the 2025 parade?
I already know my answer,
I got mine too.
but I won't say it.
Oh, and we also can't forget to shout out our sponsor of today's episode, Timmy Luco's 5.56 Golf.
And
so thank you for the swag.
Yep.
So we have some good information coming up soon to be posted on Mum Nation, and a really great episode ahead of us.
Yes. And before we get into tonight's topic, which is kind of takeaways from the 2025 parade, as I said, all divisions included, we had Tom Otto stop down tonight to the Mummers Museum. Of course, as you know, Tom's been going through it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on, and he's a really good guy, and a modest guy. Even he said that it's hard to kind of get beyond that to ask for help. But we here are going to do whatever we can to help him. And he stopped down to kind of give us a little bit of his story and talk a little bit about his experiences on New Year's Day. So take a look. Tom, thanks for coming down tonight. It was really cool to reach out to you, and I'm glad that you were a fan of watching all of our episodes. And it's really nice to finally have you down, because we talked about it before, and we were trying to get you on and kind of do what we can, to help out. At least I hope everybody knows that you have a little situation going on. But I'll let
that's
you,
an understatement.
I'll let you talk about it. Just tell anybody that might not know, just a little bit about what you've been going through lately.
Everybody through the New Year's Day parade will recognize me through my family. We have a long-standing tradition to the Mummers. my father, my uncles, my great uncle took us up the street with Satin Slipper years ago. Back in 2013, a bunch of us had started a new fancy brigade, the Spartans. About 2.5 years ago, when I was at my worst, I wasn't feeling well, and I started going to the doctor. And after getting a series of blood work back, it was explained to me that my kidneys were shutting down. I ignored the doctor for over a year. He told me I had to go get a nephrologist, that I needed to get looked at by a specific doctor who really knew what they were doing. And with that, I kept, like most people, they think they know everything. I stuck my head in the sand and ignored all the recommendations and everything that was brought to me that needed to be fixed. After another set of blood work that was going back to, 2.5 years ago, my physician called me in a panic and said, "Your kidneys are shutting down. I need you to go to the emergency room." And at that time, I was at home from work, long day at work. I called my wife, who's the practice manager of a big GYN office through Holy Redeemer Hospital at Kramer OBGYN. And I said to her, "I need you to come home. I'm going to be too nervous to drive myself. We're living in Mount Laurel now, to drive myself to the emergency room. But they're saying that I need to get examined immediately." And of course, she hit a panic and she ran in to see the lead doctor, Dr. Joel Kramer. And she said to Joel, "His kidneys are shot. Is there anything you can do? Do you know anybody who can help save what he has left?" And Joel looked at her and said, "I actually do." And he introduced me to my nephrologist, who is Dr. Ellie Kellepors, who works for the University of Pennsylvania. She helps run the department. After meeting Dr. Kellepors the first time, she broke me down. Anybody who knows me knows that I was a lot bigger than this 3.5 years ago. I had just started to take Mounjaro, which does work. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you go with the right mindset and you change your way of living, it's not just about taking a shot. With that, Dr. Kellepors, who was away on vacation at the time, said, "I'm going to be home Monday. You need to be at the Perlman Center at 6:45 in the morning." And I'll never forget her last quote was, "And don't be late." So, of course, later on that night, Maureen got a phone call from Joel and was like, "Put him on the phone. I want to talk to him." So I got on the phone with this doctor, who I was kind of familiar with, but it's not like someone I grew up with. And he said, "Listen to me. She is absolutely the smartest doctor I know. She might be the smartest person on the East Coast. That when it comes to kidney disease and getting kidneys fixed, there's nobody who's going to put you in the right direction quicker than her. So whatever she tells you to do, don't take it with a grain of salt. You have to do it or you're going to have problems." So that Monday I got up, I went to the Perlman Center. And of course, I get greeted at the desk by, "Well, she doesn't talk to anybody on the phone. You must have talked to one of us." I'm like, "All right, I'll go sit in a corner and wait until she shows up." So I had an appointment with Dr. Kellepors, and through that, she broke me down to tears and basically said, "If you don't get your weight under control, there's going to be nothing we can do to save you."
So let's pause there for a second, because
Sure.
I think for even the kidney issues aside, weight loss is hard enough, as I'm sure you know.
It's a totally different lifestyle. And that's what, unfortunately, most people understand, or they think they understand, but they don't. I can say this proudly now because I'm not embarrassed of it. At one point, I was taking in over 4,000 calories a day. They figured it out without liquor, without all the extra add-ons. When I got down to it, once I really got started, I cracked it down to I was taking in a little under 1,500 calories a day.
Wow.
And like I said, when I met Dr. Kellepors, she said to me, "You need a total shakeup." She said, "I'm looking at you as like a 6 or a 7 year project, and I don't know if we have enough time." She said, "I don't know if you're going to survive with how your kidneys are functioning that long."
What is it like to hear that?
Listen, I don't want to break down the tears now,
Yeah.
but I mean, there was a lot of nights over a 2 to 3 week span where I cried my eyes out because you don't know how to help yourself. I mean, it's too easy to stick your head down and ignore it,
Yeah.
which I had done for years. So I had another appointment with her, and she said to me, I want you to go home. I want you to think about things, and then I'm going to bring you back in, and we're going to come up with a game plan. She said, but Tom, the key to everything is you need to lose weight. She said, you're going to eventually need possibly a kidney transplant, but they won't even talk to you as high as your BMI is right now. I go, like, what are we talking about? She said, you have to lose a whole body. Mm-hmm. She said, there's no way they'll even talk to you about having the surgery done. So I went home, and of course, Marina made dinner like most good wives do. And we were sitting at the table, and I started crying my eyes out right at dinner. And she said, you need to get a grip. And I looked at her, I went, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can handle everything that's going to go on. And she looked at me, she said, I'm going to be right here with you. We're going to go right along step by step with you, and we're going to make it work.
So where are we at now in the process? Is the weight where it needs to be at? Are you
Well,
still working on it?
To continue the story, I went back to see Dr. Calaporis, and I looked at her and I said, I don't care what it takes. I want my life back. I want the life I'm used to living, growing up in South Philadelphia and amongst the people that I grew up with, and taking care of life the way I want to take care of it. And she said to me, if you're serious, we'll get you fixed, but it's going to be a long road. From then, I started dropping dramatic weight. Mm-hmm. At this point, I'm down 236 pounds.
Awesome.
Still a little bit more to go, but it's nothing that can't be handled.
Was it as bad as you anticipated it to be?
Actually, it wasn't. Losing the weight once you got started, I knew I didn't feel well, but I didn't realize, Mike, how bad I felt.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize when you're day to day, and you don't see yourself as that other person. Then I started having people come up to me all the time. It's like, oh my God, you look great. What are you doing? It sounds a lot easier than it actually was, but basically I stopped eating. Mm-hmm. And with that, you change how and what you eat.
Right.
I mean, I was told, don't worry about your vegetables. Don't worry about you need to eat protein. Mm-hmm. Your bones are going to get soft. This is going to get soft. Your blood's not functioning correctly. And once you learn the science behind it, with taking a Mounjaro, which was a huge help.
Right.
Again, I've said this to other people before, and I'll say it again. Don't believe that it doesn't work, because if you go with the mindset that it can work and you change how you are and what you do, I'm living proof of it.
Now you said you started to feel a little bit better. So did it start to get a little easier the better that you started to feel with it? You know, once you
not for the first couple months. For the first couple months, I really didn't notice how much weight I was losing. But again, the people that I knew that I hadn't seen in a couple of weeks were like, oh my God, what are you doing? But then once you start to hit like 50, 60 pounds, then it becomes a driving force. Then you're becoming belligerent and saying, well, I'm not going to eat this because I know I can't.
Right.
I mean, I don't have to tell you what we are. We're mummers.
Yeah.
I haven't had a drink since March 18th of 2023 because of all the added calories. And because with where I'm headed, I've been informed that if they find it in my blood system, that I'll be taken off the list. Mm. So it's a choice of doing the right thing and living a prosperous life with my wife, Maureen, and being able to pray with the Spartans and meet everybody down here on 2nd Street, or not being around to do it.
Yeah, and
it's a conscious choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's fast forward to New Year's Day. Sure. I mean, I would say for a few months leading up to New Year's Day in the mummers community, at least, you had some pretty good exposure.
I absolutely did. I got very lucky.
And then you get an offer to sit on television.
I did.
For New Year's Day.
I have to thank Jackie Hattie, Anthony Stagliano specifically, the business agent for the association, Jeff Trav, and the rest of the men and women through the Fancy Brigade Association for allowing me to go on TV live with Alicia Vitarelli and basically beg for a kidney, because that is what it is. I mean, you know, me and one of my brothers have joked about this and said, well, you know, it's not like you're going to somebody saying, hey, can I borrow $20? I'm short this week.
Right.
You're asking for somebody to give up part of their body.
Yeah.
and it's a permanent thing. It's no givebacks. Um,
And you
when-
actually had some positive feedback on that.
the night
from New Year's
after
Day.
after the broadcast through social media, and I don't know how some of these people got a hold of my phone number, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's everywhere on social media because of a side job I have. I had people from all over the country. It was at 25 to 30 people in less than a day and a half reached out to me and wanted to know how they could go about getting tested. I mean, you want to talk about being flattered. At one point, I had to stop answering my phone because you don't know what to say to people. I mean, it's New Year's night, Second Street's like a circus, and you're sitting there like, how do you do this? And I had people from Alabama, California, Vermont. We watched the thing. How do we get tested? I mean, when I got started with the University of Penn, they suggested going after heavy social media, and any media involvement, meaning podcast, TV, athletes, anybody you can reach out to, because the more exposure you get, the more likely you are to find a match.
Right.
With that, my wife Maureen and I decided to create a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
It's named Tommy Needs a Kidney. In a little over 3 months or 4 months, there's almost 1,500 people on the page, and they're from all over the place. We're very lucky. Like I said, we're told the more people that go to my site, because I have a microsite through the University of Penn, the more likely people you are to get people to get tested.
And we can put the link up on the screen for this.
And with that, again, I don't have to tell you, it's not pride swallowing, but it's not easy to sit there and say to somebody, hey, I'm looking for a kidney.
Yeah.
It's something that's not belittling, but it's something that makes you realize that there are good people in this world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so let's fast forward now. I mean, New Year's, it's tough. It's
Sure.
a blurry day. You know, it's
Sure
a
it
lot
is.
going on. But once you had a second to, you know, kind of take in all the outpouring and the
Mm-hmm.
outreach that you had to you. You know, we're just about a month
Sure.
or so from the parade. Does any of that have legs? Is there any
well,
next steps
I mean,
that came from that?
I get a report card from the University of Penn every week.
Mm-hmm.
The week after New Year's, there were 1,200 people who clicked onto my site, which is how you get the potential for people to actually consider being somebody who would donate. And they have several programs. There's a swap program where you might not be my match,
Right.
but Haley might be.
Right.
So, Haley has a sister who needs a kidney. I need a kidney. All of a sudden, I'm getting her sister's kidney. You're giving it to her sister. And then there's also the direct donation. And I really have no idea how that's handled. It was brought to me that you need to get as many people as you can to click on your site. And then it's up to them. If they decide to file to get tested, I know as of last Friday, there are 37 people that have put in that they're interested in getting tested.
That's pretty impressive.
So, I mean, I consider myself lucky, but again, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a real lot on both ends.
Well, we'll put the links up on the screen if anybody out there is interested in Tom's journey, and you should be. Click on the link, visit the sites, and whatever you can do, any type of help is definitely needed. And Tom, if there's anything else that we can do.
I just want to send a thank you out to the staff that takes care of me at my dialysis center, DeVita Buttonwood. You ladies rock. I am standing up and functioning on a daily basis because of the care that I get through the University of Penn and DeVita Buttonwood, my dialysis center.
Awesome.
Mike,
Awesome.
thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you for coming down, and thank you for watching all the other episodes. And
That's what I do while I'm in dialysis.
well, I'm glad that we can help you out a little
Thank
bit
you.
during your journey.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Tom.
It was a pleasure.
So again, just follow those links that are up on the screen from Tom, and anything you can do to help out is really, really a big help to Tom and his family. And he's a good guy.
Yeah, lifelong mummer too.
Yeah, so he could really use the help, and he loves the show. So we'll do whatever we can to help out a fan, and hopefully he comments on this one, because tonight we're going to be talking about our top 5 takeaways from this year's parade. So we're not ranking any prizes, we're not ranking any clubs per se or anything like that, but we're just, we're all mum freaks. We watch the tapes, as I'm sure all of you guys do, right? All of Mum Nation, I think, does that.
Yeah.
And you know how you're watching, and you're watching either at your club or at home with your family, and you just kind of notice certain things about the parade, certain things about performances, about divisions. We all do, right? Well, that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Like I said, all divisions included, whether it's something that we were the most impressed with, something that we were the most let down by, or something that we just, were surprised by, whatever, right? That's what we're here to talk about. So we want you involved in the conversation, as always. So in the comments, whatever platform that you're listening or watching on, put your takeaways, however many it is, 5, maybe more, maybe just 1, whatever it is. But we want to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear it.
Yeah, this is something that I'm really interested in hearing about. Because again, this is not just about, I love the stars, right? This is about parade things, divisional things, changes you would make, things that you like, don't like, right? Sound off and let us know what you think, because honestly, you never know. Maybe the more that it's talked about, maybe the more that it's brought up, we might bring some change to something. Who knows? So we're going to go round table. We'll discuss a little bit about what each one of us thinks, and we'll just go in order. Me, Haley, and Billy hates going first, so
Hate it.
we put him last.
You already got first.
He got
so,
first enough, so
yeah.
now he's going last.
I haven't mentioned it once.
I told him we had a bet going how long it was going to take him to mention the stars. So far, so good. We haven't heard about the stars yet tonight, so that's why he's wearing it. I knew I knew you had something up your sleeve, and you were like, I'm not going to say it once.
Not saying it once.
All right. So, all right, let's get underway here, because I am kind of curious to hear what you guys have. We didn't discuss this ahead of time, but I'm going to kick it off with my thoughts. And I'm going to start off with the Wench division. First of all, I'm just going to say impressed with the whole division.
Yes.
Because I just feel like they do a very good job, probably, and I will say this, better than any other division, of keeping it classic what it's supposed to be, but they advance every year. And my specific thing that I'm very impressed with and very surprised to see is that I believe it was the captain of MGK.
I knew you were going to say that.
Outsiders. Full back piece.
Yes.
Plumed back piece. And he was the only captain, and I'm going to assume it was the captain, in a wench brigade that had a back piece on. But he was one of the few captains whole parade.
Yeah.
That wore a back piece.
It's true.
Yeah.
A full back piece, that is. And I was impressed to see that in the wenches.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. And they were probably the best example of a club that did a theme that stayed classic, because they did, I forget what they called it, but it was basically like a golden slipper theme.
Yeah.
It was all mummer music from the brass band,
Yes.
a gold suit, music notes on it, and a captain had a full back piece. And I liked that they did the classic bonnets and the braids, which I'm sure they did on purpose, because it was supposed to be like a more classic theme. But I had a good time watching that, and I didn't take my eye off the captain the whole time, because I was just so impressed and surprised to see that out of a wench brigade captain. And I don't know if they judged their captain separate, but he was first prize captain in my judging for the brigade, for the wench brigades. So that's my first one. I just was blown away by that. What do you got?
My big takeaway, which I think it was funny because we had this kind of as a running topic of discussion throughout the podcast, and a little bit of a joke too, but clowns scored well.
Yeah.
Clowns scored well in the fancies, which a lot of us were kind of weary about. And I think they looked really great too. And I was honestly very shocked and pleasantly surprised to see Satin Slipper play second with a clown theme. They were 100% clown start to finish.
Yeah.
They were one of the clubs I really liked during the walkthrough. So seeing them really bring it in the full effect of clowns without being too cheesy, I was very impressed and very excited, because I'm hoping moving forward that's breaking down more barriers in the fancy brigades from being super serious, super dark, super dramatic, and bringing that playfulness that you see in the other divisions.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I agree with you. All right, Mr. Not mentioning the stars.
Well, one of my
got?
takeaways was that first, second, and third prize in the brigades were traditional themes. You had Chinese, you had clowns, and you had India, and you don't get much more classic. I mean, what was it, the 125th parade? Clowns is probably going out 125 times.
Probably.
And all three scored high.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing I took out of it. And the clown I got beat up on it on Saturday night, but there's no way. I mean, if somebody takes out clowns next year, I'm not going to predict them getting, higher than what I gave them. But they were probably the biggest surprise for me up to the walkthrough.
Yeah.
I walked away from the walkthrough and I was like, wow, that finale was phenomenal. They came from everywhere. They were really good, and I love that show.
I would say I'm going to continue the conversation because my next point actually was what you two just said. I was glad that Slipper did well, and that was my number 4 of 5. And I'm actually I made a note earlier of I wouldn't have argued if they got the 1 spot. I won't take it away from the stars because I liked it, but you know how some years you can say, I don't know, I think second was better than first, whatever. If they would have got first and the stars would have been second, I don't think I could have complained about that. Like I said, I won't take it away from the stars because I do think they deserved to win. It was a really good, really pretty show. But if Satin Slipper won, I would have been fine with that. I wouldn't have had any arguments. I thought they were good at the walkthrough. I had my fingers crossed that they didn't let me down on New Year's Day, because I will say, I'm not going to get into who specifically, but some of the clubs that I saw at the walkthrough that I was really impressed with, I wasn't as impressed with New Year's Day for whatever reason. It could have been various things, but Satin Slipper was even to me as good as they were at the run through. I actually liked it a little bit more than the run through because I really liked their whole, the color of their costumes, everything. I think was really good. And I didn't even think about what you said about all the top 3 being a classic theme.
All 3.
And I'll even take it a step further and say they were classic themes, but they were all done in a kind of a way that you don't traditionally see. Right. I think the stars were different with the animal tape. Yes. I think Satin Slipper was different with just clowns in general. I think anything they did at the level that they did it would have been different enough. And then India, I thought the way that they set their stage, I thought was the best thing they did. It was beautiful in their show.
And their screens, I think they used the screens better than any club out there.
Yeah, it was really good. Very, very good.
Fantastic theme.
So yeah, that was my number 4. That Satin Slipper did really well, and like I said, I wouldn't have argued if they took the top spot, and that would have been really different because I don't think I've done very limited serenades at that end of the neighborhood, so that would have been a little weird for me. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you got?
I'll actually go out of order to touch on a little bit adjacent to this. So you were saying top 3 were traditional themes, but across the board, I mean, in all the different divisions, cultural themes scored well.
Some of my things I think.
And I know we kind of talked about it. A lot of, brigades or bands might have been a little weary to submit a cultural theme. I know if you heard any mum tapes in the last couple of years, don't always have the best takeaways, but I was actually shocked to see that it didn't affect anyone at all. And I think it's because if you take it cultural enough, but you put a little bit of a spin on it, so it's not too literal, it can do really well. I mean, your case in point, but also on the flip side, Crown did very traditional, and they pulled it off and they got 3rd. And then I'll mention even Quaker. I mean, they did a Rio theme. It wasn't true Rio per se, but they took it in a different direction and they tied for 1st. So that was one of the comments I had too, because I was just shocked to see how well. And I hope it doesn't really deter anyone moving forward, because I think we all do our homework and a great job of trying to do the best that we can to portray something that has any slightly cultural significance to bring light to it and hopefully do it some justice. But
pause real quick before we go to your 4th point, because as someone who was part of one of the cultural themes, did you hear the tapes? Because I'm interested. What did they say? Was there any negativity on your? No. Okay.
That was actually weird. They loved our frogs. We didn't have frogs. We had snakes.
Well, whatever. As long as they loved it, doesn't really matter.
The weirdest thing. But we stayed away from the slanty eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and nobody was a person, so that could have been.
Yeah.
And I know I forget the name of the group that Charlie said you guys worked with, but I'm sure that they were.
They loved us, and the letter that we got, we put in our write up. We stapled it to the write up.
That's a good.
Really
that's a good idea, because I know that there were some questionable comments the last few years from the Downtowners on their tapes. There was questionable comments from Satin Slipper. So I heard
Sats.
Oh, really? You too?
Yeah, they wanted to know if we had any Hawaiians.
Oh, no. Actually, I feel like I remember Spartans even for their opening jungle scene last year.
Yeah, and I'm sorry too, but isn't doing Hawaiian arguably doing a state theme.
Well,
I mean, I know that they have. I know
American.
that they have a
When-
culture,
when
but
they said the same thing about with Satin Slipper. Do you have any Native Americans? And my answer would be, yeah, every single guy in the club. I mean, let's be real.
yeah, all right, I'll give you that. That's true. But yeah, what was your next point for?
Well, I do. Are we going in order? I just kind of
No. I just
go wherever you want.
yeah.
Actually, the next thing I was going to go to was the ethnic themes. That 2 of the top 3 in the brigades and 1 of the top 1 Quaker City. Yeah. I mean, they were all ethnic themes, and I was kind of surprised that. I mean, it's you're on the fence. Like, how do you do it? Because clubs have gotten beat up past couple of years for kind of it's nonsense. If you ask me, nobody's going to spend that much money, that much time, that much effort to go make fun of somebody. But it was enough to scare. I think it scared a lot of clubs away because you saw a lot of clubs that there wasn't much ethnic out there, and the ones that were out there won because ethnic themes, they're all beautiful. They really
I also
are.
just I will never agree with you have clearance, and then they say something negative about it. I'm sorry, but
It's them not doing their
point
homework.
is void. If a cultural group, from what you're doing, is telling you it's fine, it's fine.
Yes.
And again, you're not ever going to please everybody because one person from a Chinese background may say, "Nah, that's not a big deal," and somebody else that's like, I don't know, maybe super traditional may say, "No, that's not okay." Okay, fine, whatever. But you still had the clearance.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they said
And
anything,
you
I'm
have
using
to.
you as an
You have
example.
to. Then you got to get clearance from the city as well.
Yeah.
And that's across the board, comics and all now.
Yeah. I mean, now if you don't do it, then something slipped through the cracks somewhere, and if you do something wrong, that's on you. But
That's on you,
going through the
exactly.
proper channels, if you did it right, I'm sorry, but the judges should not.
And if you go
say.
through the proper channels, and like we had to meet with the Chinese community and all, and they say this part here we don't like it, and we went and did that, then that's us being disrespectful on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't think anybody would even take that chance to do that.
No, I agree with you. But all right, moving on to my next point. Now, this actually isn't club specific or really division specific, but it is neighborhood specific. 2nd Street, the security presence I thought was absolutely terrible this year. Going back, I don't know, 10 years or so, I guess is when they started doing the barricades down 2nd Street. And from that point on, I have to say I was really impressed that 2nd Street improved.
Yeah,
It moved,
2nd Street
it
Struck
moved
Committee.
faster. It was, the Struck Committee. It was a lot more organized. I don't know if they are around anymore.
No, there was no participation.
Well, you can tell because I'm not knocking anybody. It just looked like it was not organized.
Right.
Yeah.
Like from an actual committee, run of show standpoint. It felt like it was back to the old days where it wasn't an official parade and everybody just did whatever they wanted. And I have to say, at least from what I saw, majority of the issue was the outsiders.
People. Absolutely.
It wasn't anybody in the club or neighborhood people that understand how it's supposed to run. It was people that come from wherever.
Right.
Not saying that's not okay because we hope that everybody wants
Come
to
enjoy it.
Enjoy it, but don't ruin
also
it.
respect it because from number one, you're in every club that does 2nd Street and every person that lives there's neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget that either. Like you're on a residential street.
Yep.
So don't act
You're
like
on
a
your mom's
knucklehead.
street.
Yeah. I mean, I spent as equal time on 2nd Street with people that I knew from the club as I did marching next to people that I had no idea how they even got there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I
And
just think
not
that's
for
a
nothing,
problem.
2 weeks earlier at Kazoo Day, there's no police presence. And we marched down the street, and there's not a problem.
Yeah, well,
There's no outsiders.
yeah. Well, not for nothing too, but days like that, you kind of handle the outsiders
Exactly.
whatever way you see fit, and it's a little,
It's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do your
So-
own policing.
I just feel like moving forward, we have to get back to a more organized 2nd Street event. I don't know if there's any way that we could possibly get that committee back, or if there's still an interest in having a committee. I would be on it because we definitely need it. And I thought that was, I think the worst part of my New Year's Day was that, and how long it took us.
We stood at Second and Wash for over an hour.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Stood there.
Ridiculous.
And under 2nd Street, I want to cut you off.
Yeah.
The fact that it was cut off at 3rd and Snyder. And that's not our fault.
No. No.
But the mummers get beat up on it from the people down there saying they're not going to buy tickets from us. They're not going to support us. We go down there when we want them and all. But we have nothing to do with that. We turn when we're told to turn. And as far as people saying we could just go around them, it's kind of hard to do when you have your beer truck, you got your sound truck. what do we got, 100, 150
Yeah.
people in suit, then you got another 100 marshals, you throw in 50 or 60 stragglers that jumped on. It's, believe me, we don't go down there because we don't want to.
No. I mean, we respect the neighborhood, but we also respect the police that are telling
Absolutely.
you not to do it. You know,
Absolutely.
because then we look like the bad guy when you're trying to push through them.
Yep.
And I know apparently I had heard that there was clubs that went
went around
further
them.
than that.
Yeah.
I heard that some clubs asked if they could go around, and apparently they were told they could do that by the police. I don't know how much I believe that because I don't know why they would let certain clubs go and not other ones. But just know that if what Billy's saying is accurate, if you're told to get off, you kind of have to do it, or else we're going to bear the brunt of it, and then there's going to be no Second Street parade. So
and that's the truth.
Yeah, which sucks, but that's kind of how it is today. What do you got?
My next point actually is something that you touched on in your first mic about the wenches.
Mm-hmm.
Really showing more that classic mummer profile or suit elements, and even some show elements. I thought MGK definitely with the captain suit. Also, the Americans with some of their mime/marionette suits. The actual pattern of their suit I thought was really fun, really unique. It's, I mean, even the patterns just alone of the wench suits are getting more and more extravagant, but they had their own gimmicks with the marionette strings. I thought that was fun. And that suit, I think that was the captain. I think
the one I showed you tonight,
earlier.
Sean Keenan.
That suit itself was beautiful, totally layered.
Yeah, it was nice.
And the little gimmick that he did, and then even the frogs coming in with the limo. You sent us that video, just the little skit elements and gimmicks that they're involving more. I mean, we know the comics do a lot too. It's really fun to see how much energy they're bringing, and honestly, how inspired they get from the other divisions, and also how that works among the divisions. Because I think you see it every year. Oh, I saw something like that last year from that one. And it's really fun seeing them step up their show elements too. And the suits.
The props are starting to have. Matter of fact, parking in the parking lot tonight, I had to go around O'Malley's. Your chariot. Your chariot is parked in the Bummers Museum parking lot.
You know what's funny? I will say is my most impressive captain's moment was the back piece, but I think the thing I laughed the most about was the O'Malley guy coming in on the chariot.
That was great.
He was eating that up. He played the part. We got to have more wench captains on or something.
They do well.
By the way, shout out to Jason from Frogs, who was the most popular guest by plays that we had on.
Forget about it.
Thank you for all of the
I called him and I let him know too.
All the wench
He said he's willing to do it again.
He's going to be back. We got a lot of wench love for this podcast. So shout out to
Speaking of wench love, that's my next point.
There you go. What do you got?
When we talked to Jason, we were all kind of confused about how they judge.
Yeah.
We weren't sure.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans did it back to back.
Yeah.
And so apparently the Americans have figured out what the judges want. But I watched them. Actually, I watched all the wenches getting ready for tonight. I skimmed through them before, but I watched them all today. The Americans, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
They were absolutely, they had gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. And then you got the Pirates, they could care less about gimmicks. And they just look like they have fun. There's some clubs that have fun and some clubs that they're just getting, like I said, the chariot, the back piece. But Sean's suit was a different level. He could have jumped into another division.
Yeah. I was actually, one thing I was impressed about with the Americans and a couple of the other clubs is that somehow when they have a gimmick, right, and they come out from behind a prop, sometimes there's like a small group of them that come out first and they do like a little role play thing. How they get everyone to agree not to move and stay behind that thing.
I think a lot
like
of them have a rule with the
point.
kids. They let the kids go out
Unbelievable.
first. But if you watch the video that I sent you today, Jason comes out of that limo.
Yeah.
And if you see, Froggy Car's about 3 blocks away. And they literally sprint
to
get up there.
I saw
Jason needed like a 3-block head start. They still surround
I'm
him.
just laughing though because I'm like, when you string band or brigade or whatever, you have like a serious drill and you have to count and everything. And I'm like, and there's still people that come out at the wrong time. And these guys are just out there to have the best time ever. And they're all like, no one move.
They probably learn it 3 houses
They probably
back.
do. Yeah. And it works. Somehow it works. But yeah, I agree. Just overall the wenches, I think in years past, they've pulled inspiration from other divisions, but I think you might start seeing it in reverse. Some of the little like cute, cool gimmick things that they do, you might see a brigade or a stringman go, you know what, we could
absolutely
amp that up a little bit and do it in there. Which actually, speaking of the string bands, leads me to my second to last point, which I might be a a one-man island on this one, but I actually agreed with the tie for the string bands. I know a lot of people didn't, and I actually think that it is going to be stupid if they put a tiebreaker in there.
Really?
I do, and the reason is because you got a tie for every other prize, right? There's no tiebreaker for any other prize in any division, brigades or whatever, or string bands. So if you can tie for second, right? I don't think that there's a reason that you can't tie for first. And people would disagree with me on that because, oh, there should only be one winner. Well, how would you feel if you were the club that got screwed by the tiebreaker? Because I don't think you'd be singing that tune if you were second then instead of tying for first. So you mean to tell me you'd rather be second prize than tying for first? I'd rather tie for first because if we were equally that good and the judges thought that, then I want to be left alone. I want the tie for first. I'll take it. I don't want to be, whatever the tiebreaker is, somebody's going to feel screwed because if the tiebreaker is the captain, they're going to say, well, that's not fair. It doesn't have anything to do with the band. If they make the tiebreaker music score because it's band competition, they're going to say, well, that's not fair. They got all the best musicians, but we put on a better show. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's costume, they're going to say, well, they have more money than we do. How's that fair? We beat them, we tied them. And there's so many arguments back and forth. And I know they're probably going to do it. I know they're probably going to put a tiebreaker in there because that's all you've heard since New Year's Day. But both clubs were good. I actually thought Fralinger was good too. I actually feel the only thing I feel bad about the tie is that Fralinger got third instead of getting a number 2 next to their name. Because technically speaking, if both those clubs were first, Fralinger really is second best score wise, right? So, but I get it. You penalize the one spot down to keep the. I get all that, but yeah, I agree with the tie. I'm sorry if
that was my next point. I am the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think they have to fix that. You cannot have a tie for first place. You can't. And the tiebreaker, it shouldn't be the captain because that is a separate category.
I'm not to cut you off, but in the brigades, it is the captain, right? That's the tiebreaker.
I don't even know.
That's what I keep hearing over and over again. In the brigades, it's the captain
for first.
Because there's the only tiebreaker is for first.
First, yeah.
And apparently, it's whatever club's captain scored higher. If we're wrong, let us know in the comments. If we're right, let me know if we're right. But that's all I've heard everywhere is the captain.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Tiebreaker.
But I think you're a string band, so you're known for music. Mm-hmm. So that should be your first tiebreaker. Second should be costume. It's a parade. And if you need the third, then you go on to the show or whatever. But you were talking about maybe Slipper could have jumped up to first. Yeah. Let's say they did. Mm-hmm. And it was us and Slipper, and I found out that we got first and it was tied. That's like in hockey where they say it's like kissing your sister. I mean, you need a winner. You need a winner and you need a loser, and you can't have a tie, especially for first. Absolutely not.
Like I get what you're saying, but I don't think that there's not a winner if there's two. I just think there's two. Like to me, if for me saying like there's not a winner means like everybody sucked and nobody deserved to win, right? Like if I would think it's even better for the parade to say, I mean, maybe not internally because people might get pissy, but like there was 2 clubs that were good enough to win.
Mm-hmm. And they both were really good.
Right. Yeah, they were. And now I agree because coming from a string band, Fralinger won 8 years in a row and Quaker was always right up their butt, right? People were like, you mean to tell me that's never happened before and they never broke the tie? Well, now I'm thinking maybe it never did happen before because if it finally happened, maybe it did never happen.
I don't think it'll happen again.
No,
they have to address that.
Can I jump in with my next point? Because this has to do with the string bands and how heavily impressed I was with a lot of the division. But especially, I mean, this is going right into testament of how, first off, I think, one, I'm going to say it does suck that 2 clubs or bands got disqualified because honestly, they looked really nice. Durning looked really nice for Rio that they were doing. And I mean, if you have your bottom 5 bands are not looking like they did 10 years ago, I mean, we're moving up and competition is getting tighter, so tight that now you have 2 string bands tying. I mean, I think that's just showing overall how we're moving into a really competitive nature among all the divisions. I mean, we had a tie last year in the brigades. I think you're just seeing that range is really slimming up. And people are getting more creative of where they're putting their money, where they're, where they want to prioritize their score. And and just say, I don't remember seeing the breakdown for the top two or the top string bands, but just if one scores really well in music, but the other scored just as well in overall effect or something. I mean, you might not have had the same exact show scoring, but the fact that you somehow managed to tie, like that's pretty impressive because you're also playing on your strengths. And I think the more clubs lean into that, whatever that is for them, that better the shows are going to continue getting. So overall, I was impressed that even your lower scoring string bands looked really nice in comparison to before and even a tie. And honestly, I'll even shout out Uptown. I was super impressed by.
Yeah.
Yep. We were right, by the way, about them.
Yeah.
Episode number 1.
Yeah. I was very, very impressed by them in particular. I love their show. It was exactly what I wanted to see from them. Cade killed it out there. And the fact that they were 4th, I mean, they're moving up too. I think you're really seeing this trend of everyone leaning into their strengths. And I mean, I could have even seen them in a different year winning. The same how I felt with Slipper. Honestly, I feel like a different year they could have pulled first easily. So I'm really excited at where everyone's going with it, but the bands in particular, the fact that it played out that way.
Yeah, I want to jump back in for a second too because I agree with what you were saying. The disqualification is stupid for a number of reasons.
It was harsh.
Number one, no one was offensive. Nobody did anything wrong. There was no time infractions as far as I'm aware, nothing like that. It was some kind of, and I don't know the details, so nobody shoot me, but it was some kind of mix up with the type of themes. To me, again, I don't know the intricacies or who was told to do or change or whatever but I didn't see really any similarities. I hope nobody's discouraged. I thought Duffy was good. I thought Durning was extremely impressive from where they've been the last few years. I just hope that they keep on doing what they're doing. I think both of those bands are headed in a really good direction.
Wasn't one of them a Haunted Castle and they were told they couldn't be a Haunted Castle?
If that's the case, I disagree because Duffy was, they were different enough for me. And there was like some similarities here and there, but to be honest with you, there could be similarities in 2 totally different themes. Like one similarity, I mean, it's public knowledge. You can watch the tapes, right? Like one similarity that I saw was that Duffy had like the Munsters staircase thing that opened, like where they used to keep the dragon underneath. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And South Philly kind of had the same prop. That doesn't mean you could have did a staircase thing like that in any theme.
Yeah.
Right? So are you going to penalize or knock points or tick points now if we start having the same type of props in different
Us and Golden Crown had peacocks.
Yeah, right.
Like the same exact.
Okay,
Same exact peacock.
Exactly. So are you gonna penalize you or Crown because you had the same prop? I'm not saying that's the reason why. Don't mistake what I'm saying, but it's kind of the same principle. I mean, that was the one similarity I saw. The captains were different characters. I don't think they had one suit that was the same. The only other thing I could possibly say, I think South Philly and Duffy both had a suit that had some kind of like beehive-ish hairdo.
But if you remember going back to the first show, didn't I say?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, there's a lot of
They were too close,
You
and you gotta, especially with, you don't want to match up with the champions.
And I didn't see any.
Yeah.
Quaker and Durning, I saw nothing.
No,
Well,
Quaker was
wasn't-
so off.
Was Quaker more Cuban?
That's what I thought too.
I think so. Yeah, kind of.
But
They
they
were
were
the movie
so
Mask,
like
right?
the mask, yeah.
But at the end of the day, Durning and Duffy, congratulations. You got the same amount of money as Quaker and South Philly got.
Yeah,
So,
that's the truth.
yeah. Just try as hard as you did this year in 2026. And
Yeah, I thought the whole DQ was, I mean, points is one thing, but DQ, that's harsh.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with disqualification if you do an ethnic theme and it's like obviously offensive,
Yeah.
or you didn't get the approval and you can't prove that you did.
Right.
All right, fine. But I don't know. Well, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, my last point was just something I saw across the string bands and the brigades was the prevalence of mirror suits again.
Yeah.
So South Philly had their stained glass suit. Frailinger had the glass bottle suit. Downtowners had the glass ballerina suit. I really loved seeing the color ones. I thought that was super sharp this year. But you're seeing them. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever really going to lose their effect because they're really pretty, but I wonder if the accessibility of them is going to start to deter their effect. And you're seeing that they're getting more creative with them, I think, because you're seeing them so much more. I mean, the Vikings had them 10 years ago now. So seeing the colored suits with the stained glass and that green glass bottle, I thought that was really cool. But I feel like they're eventually going to start losing their overall effect.
Yeah.
Already lost its effect.
It did for me,
Yeah,
too.
and I was honestly surprised to see them so common again this year. But
I will say, standing off to the side watching you guys, they were neat when they were up and they were the chandelier.
Yeah.
It was really sharp looking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got one more?
Nah, my last one was the fact that colorful themes were back outside of South Philly, who was a darker theme.
Yeah.
Quaker, Stars, Satin Slipper, Golden Crown, Uptown. The judges across the board, the Americans, they loved color and all the darker themes. You guys, downtowners, Cleveland, Avenures, all the darker themes got kind of bumped into the back. And past few years, they like the dark.
Yeah.
And this year it seemed to went the opposite way. And we were just
coming back.
I mean, luckily we were on the right side of the color scheme this year and we didn't decide to go dark. But it was across the board, every category I looked at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I got one more. My last point here is it sounds negative, but it's not meant to be. I just put the current parade is in the format. It's time for that to die. That stinks. That parade blows.
I didn't even go on Broad Street.
It stinks. That parade sucks. And I'm not saying that going back to the way that it was before is the answer either, because I know that people are like, just put it back to the old way.
It's not
I think
easy
that's
either.
dead too, to be honest with you. I don't think that mummers is not a dying thing. People love it. And people say, oh, this is tradition of dying. It's been dying for 50 years. You've been hearing that. You know, I don't agree with that at all. I think that people like it. If you see the crowd on 2nd Street and the crowd, if you're early enough on Broad Street, it's packed. I think what is dying is the amount of time that it takes to do it. Like, people lose interest in sitting there for 6 hours, because I don't think if I was in it, I wouldn't want to sit there.
It's a long day.
I wouldn't want to sit there that long either.
Yeah.
It blows. And I just think, I don't know, the string band's coming out and doing Broad Street after the judges, I was not a fan of. And then you got to filter the brigades in, which is stupid. Let's be honest. I mean, if you're not going to come out in full force and in full suit and drill and all this, like, a brigade is pointless to see out there. I'm sorry, it is, unless you're going to have some kind of live music or performance.
Well,
right? It's just it's dumb, and I think, not to cut you off, but I just think that maybe, and I don't have the answers, so I'm not going to say too much, because I'm not going to knock it and then not come with the answer. But I think it's just time to move to something that's more festival based, something that's a little bit more like closed circuit.
Show and tell.
Look at how in the last 15, 20 years or so, like, those really big electronic music festivals have just grown. Now there's a million of them now. There was always the big ones like Coachella and stuff like that, but there's a million of them now all over the place, even little ones that you never really hear of, but because people like that you can get drinks and that you can, I'm assuming, eat. You know, there's different tents, there's different performances going on. You can do everything, and it's all within a certain area that you go, you have the ticket, and you're there. And I think that's what people want to do. Center City is not a residential area anymore. People with families don't want to either pay to park and walk, or take the subway, or take the train, whatever. It's a lot to ask. And I think moving it up more into the neighborhood is step one. And from there, I think it would have to be talked about between the divisions and all that kind of stuff, what the right course of action to do. But I think that it's time to talk about it. And who knows? Maybe this is the mayor to do it under, because it was nice to see that she actually showed up to the parade for the first time in 8 years. The mayor was at the parade, because the other knucklehead never came.
We needed a non-mummer.
Yeah,
take part in the mummers.
To go off of what you were saying a little bit, I do agree you start to lose, unfortunately, interest because of how slow things move. But being on the street this year, I felt like we flew to Washington Ave, and I felt so rushed. It's a shame, because we only drilled like maybe if twice. I know we did once, but I don't even know if we drilled twice. I can't remember. But the fact that we're kept on one side of the street for so long, like, you can't even engage with the crowd that came out and stayed out to see you, like, that's a sin, because we're doing it. I mean, obviously we're doing it because we should, as part of the whole parade, but we're doing it for people that support us and actually keep this alive for us. And the fact that we can't give them back the same energy, that really stinks, and that really upset me. So I took my time to, definitely say hi to people and everything.
Yeah, I tried
'Cause
to.
why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, really, people aren't going to come out to just sit there and watch us go by and not even drill, not even do anything, and not even half the time be in straight lines. So the fact that we can't even present well or interact with them as much as we want, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Too. And people were definitely looking for it too. They want the
Oh,
pictures and they
yeah.
want.
Oh, yeah,
But
absolutely.
a simple wave and people were. I mean, I had a grown man with a full beard jump up and down and like fist pump because I waved to him from the parade. Like he was standing there like this, and no one is paying a mind.
yeah,
Which isn't completely the fault of the club because for some reason we were told to be all the way
one
over
side,
on
yeah.
one side of the
and
island.
I mean, Broad Street's so
And we
wide.
were far away, and I happened to catch him, and I like waved like that, and he was like, it made his
Yeah,
day.
I haven't seen Second Street in a couple of years. The knees won't allow it.
Yeah.
But I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all because, I mean, guys look dead when they come back for the second show.
Yeah.
I mean, and not for nothing. You're between shows, you're supposed to be out there parading and having fun. But
Warming up and-
your mind is on that second show.
Yeah.
And also, not to mention too, it's not the greatest setup in the world to do what we're doing right now, at least from a brigade perspective, because it took our bus about 50 minutes to get back from Washington Avenue.
Oh,
to the,
yeah.
to
We got
the,
stuck in terrible
convention
traffic.
center. And I know, don't get me wrong, that we're probably causing our own traffic jams because of the parade and the closures. But if that's what you have to do to get back there, it's
Yeah, it needs to be fixed, and I think everybody knows it, from the fans
I
to
agree.
the association leaders. But
And,
what
and
is
also
the
too,
answer?
for the string band setup? I mean, think about the amount of people that travel and watch and want to see and are fans of those string bands, and the grandstand for the string bands. The amount of seats that you have, it could be so much more because of the amount of people that would actually want to see it, and the angle that you're seeing it from right now, even in a quote a front seat. It's terrible, and really, it's because of the area. I mean, you're right at Dilworth Plaza. You're right at City Hall. You can only go back so far. You can only put so many rows.
Got the two exits.
The judges
Yeah.
have to be in the front.
Right.
And it sounds crappy to say you have to prioritize the judges over the fans, which I'm still like kind of so on that.
Let's become more of a competition than a parade.
Yeah, and you know,
And if you look at the old tapes, I mean, there's people all the way back,
oh yeah.
and they didn't care. But now you got them gigantic floats and stuff, and
But if you think about it too, because when you look at that back in the day, I always thought the same thing. I'm like, who would want to stand back there? But it was a different style parade. It was 65 back pieces, and they just played music walking by, and everybody just wanted to see that spectacle. Now, what you're seeing if you're back that far, you're just seeing bands get ready for the judging area, and a block and a half worth of props going by.
back of plywood.
And you can
Marshals
hear the
walking
DJ
around
booth in the judging area. And
Yeah.
you're like,
It's fixable.
it is. It's
I don't know what
fixable.
I don't know what the fix is, but
Yeah.
it's we have to get together. All the divisions have to get together
Yeah, well,
and figure this out.
that's
Which
the problem.
yeah,
I don't
So
know.
there's
why,
always
but
going to
it
be
is.
that.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that was all of our takeaways, right? Yeah. And seriously, I want to hear what you have. We all kind of do, because like I said, the more it comes up, who knows, might strike conversation and get things moving or changing. And I also just like to hear what you thought about the divisions, and if you thought anything was cool or surprising or whatever, let us know. But as always, follow us, watch us, listen to us on all of our platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart. Maybe we'll be on another one next season coming up. The Stars won this year. If you didn't know,
Haven't mentioned it once.
if you didn't know that information, you're probably not following Mom Nation. So follow Mom Nation, join that group. Again, if you have anything to throw in there, upcoming events or whatever, definitely do it, because Billy will always approve that kind of stuff. And
Tickets and stuff like that. You're selling fundraisers, anything like that.
if you're interested in being a sponsor of an episode coming up, just like Timmy Luco did with 5.56 Golf, reach out to any three of us, either through text, Facebook, Mom Nation, whatever. And if you have an idea for a show episode, or you want to be on an episode, we'd love to hear from you. But we'll be back here again at the Mummy Museum, maybe in a different spot, maybe back in our regular area, maybe in a whole new area dedicated just to us. Who knows? But we'll be back here soon. And it was a great 2025 year, and I'm very excited
Yeah.
with what 2026 is going to bring with the theme picking and the spots. And I'm very excited.
New
already.
officers, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Everything's happening.
I'm excited already. But all right, we'll see you next time, guys. See you.